What a computer is to me is it's the most remarkable tool that we've ever come up with.
I have invited here today 3 industry experts to have a panel discussion on software. Software CEOs, could I please ask you to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Fred Gibbons, President of Software Publishing Corporation.
Hi, I'm Mitch Kapor, President of Lotus. We do a product called 123.
My name is Bill Gates. I'm Chairman of Microsoft. And during 1984, Microsoft expects to get half of its revenues from Macintosh software.
But now, to get the show rolling, allow me to introduce our chairman, our visionary, but most important to all of us today, the general manager of the Macintosh division, Steve Jobs.
Good morning, and welcome to the second major Apple product event in less than 100 days. I'd like to spend a few minutes reviewing where we are with our first major product of 1984, Macintosh, in the first 100 days. And to help me, I want to use this Macintosh right next to me here, and all the images that you're about to see in the next few minutes will be generated by this Macintosh and what's on this diskette. Now, let's examine how long it took the first 2 milestone products to reach a 50,000 unit installed base. It might give us a bit of a perspective. First, there was the Apple II. Introduced in 1977, it took 2.5 years to sell the 50,000th Apple II in late 1979. Next, there was the IBM PC. Introduced in late 81, it took 7.5 months before it sold its 50,000th unit in mid-1982. Macintosh, introduced 92 days ago on January 24th, reached its 50,000th unit on April 6th in just 74 days. Some called it unrealistic, some called it fantasy, we called it essential.
Microsoft was not in the applications business. It was dominated by Lotus. And Microsoft took a big gamble to write for the Mac. You know, I brooded for a few months. But it was not very long after that that it really occurred to me that if we didn't do something here, the Apple II was running out of gas. And we needed to do something with this technology fast, or else Apple might cease to exist as the company that it was. And so I formed a small team to do the Macintosh. And, you know, we were on a mission from God, you know, to save Apple. The only problem with Microsoft is they just have no taste. They have absolutely no taste, and what that means is, I don't mean that in a small way, I mean that in a big way, in the sense that they don't think of original ideas, and they don't bring much culture into their product. And you say, well, why is that important? Well, you know, proportionally spaced fonts come from typesetting and beautiful books. That's where one gets the idea. If it weren't for the Mac, they would never have that in their products. And so I guess I am saddened, not by Microsoft's success. I have no problem with their success. They've earned their success, for the most part. I have a problem with the fact that they just make really third-rate products. What can I say? I hired the wrong guy.
That was Scully?
Yeah. And he destroyed everything I'd spent 10 years working for. Starting with me, but that wasn't the saddest part. I would have gladly left Apple if Apple would have turned out like I'd wanted it to.
Apple suffered for several years from lousy engineering management. I have to say it. And there were people that were going off in 18 different directions doing arguably interesting things in each one of them. Good engineers, lousy management. And what happened was, you look at the farm that's been created with all these different animals going in different directions, and it doesn't add up. The total is less than the sum of the parts. And so we had to decide, what are the fundamental directions we're going in, and what makes sense and what doesn't. And there were a bunch of things that didn't. And microcosmically, they might have made sense. Macrocosmically, they made no sense. And, you know, the hardest thing is, when you think about focusing, right? You think, well, focusing is saying yes. No. Focusing is about saying no. Focusing is about saying no. And you've got to say no, no, no. And when you say no, you piss off people. And they go talk to the San Jose Mercury, and they write a shitty article about you. You know? And it's really a pisser. Because you want to be nice. You don't want to tell the San Jose Mercury, the person that's telling you this, you know, just was asked to leave, or this or that, or this or that. So you take the lumps. And Apple's been taking their share of lumps for the last 6 months in a very unfair way. And it's been taking them, you know, like an adult. And I'm proud of that. And there's more to come, I'm sure. There's more to come. I mean, some of these, I read these articles about some of these people that have left. I know some of these people. They haven't done anything in 7 years. And, you know, they leave, and it's like, you know, it's like the company's going to fall apart the next day. And so, you know, I think there'll be stories like that that come and go. But focus is about saying no. And the result of that focus is going to be some really great products where the total is much greater than the sum of the parts.
I'm incredibly pleased to introduce iMac, our consumer product. And iMac comes from the marriage of the excitement of the internet with the simplicity of Macintosh. Even though this is a full-blooded Macintosh, we are targeting this for the #1 use that consumers tell us they want a computer for, which is to get on the internet, simply and fast. And that's what this product is targeted for.
So we went to our customers. We went to our consumer and education customers and said, what do you want in a portable? What precisely is it that you want? And we listened very carefully. And when you added it all up, what they wanted was an iMac to go. They loved iMac. They wanted an iMac to go. Could we make an awesome iMac to go? Well, as you know, we tend to start our consumer products with the prefix I, and our pro products with the prefix power. And we tend to end our desktops with Mac, and we tend to end our portables with book. So, since we're such logical folk, iBook is the name of this product. But we're not done yet, because it's my pleasure today to announce Mac OS X. This is, I hope, also going to blow you away. We are announcing Mac OS X here today.
But there's one more thing. This is our product strategy that we announced about 2.5 years ago, the 4 quadrants. And it's served us very well. We've filled them all in, and we've even had a chance to go around and update most of them 2 or 3 times each, to constantly keep them fresh and aggressive. But today, the first time in 2.5 years, we are expanding our product strategy. And it's not a portable. It is a new desktop machine. What is it? Because if this is the size of a Power Mac G4, we have miniaturized all that power into something this size. Okay? From this to this. And what we've miniaturized it into is an 8-inch cube. An 8-inch cube. Unbelievable. This is our store. And the store is divided into 4 parts. The first quarter of the store has our home section with great home and education products, and our pro section with all our great pro products. And every product we make is in this first 25% of the store. You can see the whole product line. And as you see up on the ceiling, we've even labeled the sections.
home, music, kids, genius on this side, and pro, movie, photos, and etc. on this side. So the first 25% shows you our entire product line. Now there's 36 computers on display in the store. Every single one of them is connected to the internet. So you can go up to any computer and start surfing, go to your personal website, or do whatever you want to do on the internet. And all of our portables are connected with airport wireless networking, so you can experience that for yourself. It's pretty great. So come on over here, let me show you what we got going in the home section.
More importantly, music's a part of everyone's life. Everyone. Music's been around forever. It will always be around. This is not a speculative market. And because it's a part of everyone's life, it's a very large target market all around the world. It knows no boundaries. But interestingly enough, in this whole new digital music revolution, there is no market leader. There are small companies like Creative and Sonic Blue, and then there's some large companies like Sony that haven't had a hit yet. They haven't found the recipe. No one has really found the recipe yet for digital music. And we think not only can we find the recipe, but we think the Apple brand is going to be fantastic because people trust the Apple brand to get their great digital electronics from. So let's look at portable music. Let's look at the landscape. The first thing, if you want to listen to music portably, you can go out and buy a CD player, right? That's one way to go, about 10 to 15 songs. Or you can buy a flash player. Go out and buy one of those. You can buy a MP3 CD player, or you can buy a hard disk-based jukebox player. These are the 4 choices for portable music right now. So let's take a look at each one of those. A CD player costs about $75, holds 10 to 15 songs on a CD. That's about $5 a song. You can go buy a flash player, pay about double that, about $150, holds the same 10 to 15 songs, or about $10 a song. You can go buy an MP3 CD player, and an MP3 CD, which you can burn on your computer, costs about $150, but holds 150 songs. So you get down to $1 a song. Or you can go buy a hard drive jukebox player for about $300. It holds about 1,000 songs and costs about 30 cents a song. So we looked at this and studied all these, and that's where we want to be. That is where we want to be. And we are introducing a product today that takes us exactly there, and that product is called iPod. iMac, iBook, iPod. First thing I'd like to tell you about is the iPod. This amazing new digital hub device that we announced last quarter. And it has been so well received. I just grabbed a few reviews here from Newsweek. The iPod is the best digital music player yet. New York Times, it may be the finest portable music player ever built. And the Wall Street Journal, the iPod is simply the best digital music player I've seen. Now these guys rarely agree on anything, but they agree on the iPod. And we have been thrilled with the success of the iPod. We introduced it on October 23rd. We shipped our first iPods on November 10th. And a lot of people have asked us, well, how did it do? Between November 10th and December 31st, less than 60 days, I am thrilled to report to you that we sold 125,000 iPods. Even with this number, we stocked out in several places in the U.S. So we're building even more, and we couldn't have asked for more for iPod's first 60 days out in the marketplace. We're thrilled.